Satellite and radar showing, as we turn our attention to the tropics, huge Erin. Look how big this storm has gotten. It started out really tiny over the weekend, had a little eye that was 5 miles across, and now it's just blossomed into this large storm. It is a weaker storm at Category 2 now, still a strong storm, but relatively weaker. And you can see its winds extend out several hundred miles from the center, and also just the cloud cover so far from the center too. You can see its path as it started here off the coast of Guinea, tracked all the way north of the Caribbean Sea, brushed by the Bahamas, and now we'll get somewhat close to North Carolina, not with a direct hit, but you can see the storm surge warnings and watches out up to 2 to 4 feet expected along the outer banks of North Carolina, and then even far from where the worst will be, you can see up to 1 to 3 or so feet. And our rip current risk, you can see in the reds, a high rip current risk probably through the end of the week all along the east coast of the U.S., even into the northeast. And some waves could be up to 15 to 20 feet along the coast, especially of North Carolina, as it gets pretty close tonight. And then this is early tomorrow morning. That would be the worst of it for the coast of the Carolinas here. And then it moves farther out, gets caught up in the westerlies, and takes a turn to the east. Here we are on the other side of Erin with a front moving in for the weekend. Unfortunately, not bringing cool air or dry air just yet, but it will bring our rain chance up, especially it looks like Thursday, Friday may be the most rainy day, and then Saturday about a 50% chance. And here is dry air that sometimes does wrap around the other side of a tropical system like this. And our models are showing with available moisture by early next week, we might get in on a little bit of slightly drier air, maybe at some point in the early to mid part of next week. So just a little heads up there. Not looking super promising in August, but that can be somewhat nice if you do get a little breath of some drier air at this point in the year. 2 other spots are out here. Notice that neither is going to be moving toward the northern Gulf Coast, so we continue with no threats. Here's Erin. Here's our next spot, likely to take a slightly more eastward path compared to Erin, but overall pretty similar to Erin. And then another spot farther out, probably going to sink off farther to the south. And these is going to be the steering current with this big high kind of determining where these systems end up. So tracking the tropics, but nothing for us as far as threats, likely at least through the end of August. So sigh of relief there for a lot of us. We'll continue to track, of course, closely as we get toward the peak day of September 10th, and early next week, still hot, lower chance of rain it looks like for early on Monday and Tuesday.
All right, this weekend you